Giveon's Give or Take. It is 15 songs, 45 minutes long, and Giveon is a rising kind of like slash risen R&B neo pop artist.
Mhm.
Of course, we hate the term R&B on Audioface because it's generally just a pejorative for Black people music, and this is representative of how pop music just sounds like. It's just
Yep.
influences with soul and neo soul and funk and all these other different things. And boy, do you get these things here. Probably one of my favorite things about this record. Not only is it tightly produced and has variety to make me go, oh, this isn't just another like neo pop slash R&B singer songwriter record. This something
Yeah.
with meat. This is something with a lot of merit. But Giveon knows his vocal range and works within it so well. There's no like
Yes.
straining. There's no like weird falsetto-y stuff that you get from a lot of pop artists these days who are just trying to flex or trying to get certain moments in songs for whatever reason. Giveon just knows his craft and does it to a science. And what you get is a wonderfully complete record. And it's his longest yet. His records have been gradually been getting longer, these albums. But I think this feels like his most complete, proper work yet out of the, I want to say like 3 major albums he's done so far.
Mhm. I it took me. I was able to listen to it two times through, and the second listen, I really got to appreciate it a bit more. The first one, I enjoyed. I thought it was a little long on the first listen through, but second listen through, it felt like it played through a lot better, and felt like that it was able to comprehend it a little bit more. I really, really like the second track of Scarred. Fantastic with that, like, you know, mixing that neo pop with uh, almost like that house-ish beat with the drums and everything that I really like. So there's a lot of things on here that I agree with you on. I love his vocals on it. I really, really like it. The production is just like top notch, top through bottom. Everything plays through very well, which is nice. Um, and I'm actually impressed with it in a way. The only thing would maybe like a couple little like of the interludes here or there. I thought like you could get away with maybe like they don't really need to be there. Might be my biggest critique, but
Yeah,
other
the
than that,
lowercase songs that have dates. They're just like I call it Dan planning things because it's like exactly how I just like type and do shit. Like, all right, like all lowercase. Are you free on December 11th? Hey, let's do something on July 16th. Both of these are names of songs.
yeah, and then like
But
even like
yeah,
in some of the tracks, there's little things here or there that like you could cut out or you don't necessarily need to be there. I understand like what he's trying to do with them, but that's just like my
add
own little critique. But
musician voicemails. Throw that down on your bingo cards, everyone, because we
yeah,
got a couple of
yeah, yeah,
those.
don't do that. Yeah,
I
I've
totally
never
get
been a
you there.
fan of those.
I totally get
Yeah,
you there. I think, yeah, very rarely have they been executed well. To this point, just now very cheesy. And I do think the interlude songs, like those date ones that we talked about, are yeah. I could have gone without them for sure. They could potentially drag the record on a little bit, but I actually thought for interlude tracks they were really like a fairly
oh,
solid.
they're probably solid for tracks. Like, don't get me
And
wrong,
I was gonna
that.
say like they add to the musical and like production range that's on here because like without some of the acoustic track like that acoustic track you get from the first dated one
Hmm.
December
Hmm.
16th or yeah December 11th that helps provide range that I think makes the transition between Scarred and tracks that have a little bit more energy later on through the album. I think that makes it more smooth.
Okay, I could see that. Um, yeah, I mean, this overall, I think it's actually a very good project. I like it a lot. Like towards the end of it, I really like Another Heartbreak. At least we tried. And the last track of Unholy Matrimony. That were all very good. But like, it's nice to hear these neo pop. That throwback, almost sounding to like your mid early 2000s era neo pops that hone them in and produce tracks around it to where it's very cohesive and you still get a thoroughly produced nice record throughout it. So I think in that way, and for someone who has um as much of a stature as Giveon, it's good in that way.
Yeah,
I really
I
like
think For Tonight
it.
is one of the best songs that
Yeah, yeah.
illustrates that voice as an instrument thing. And even with all the artists you mentioned before, like no disrespect to them, I even say like The Weeknd, who I just like praised earlier in this podcast, who
Yeah, he
or
can
even
he
like
can be guilty
Khaled.
of that sometimes.
Yeah.
Khaled for sure.
Yeah, to the point where along with Sam Smith and a lot of these other vocalists, like it can not ruin, but like impact the way my desire to come back to a track, let's say, for sure.
Yeah,
My desire to want to replay it, go through it again. This is definitely like one of my slower, moodier type of moods I'd be in to listen to this record. Generally out of like my own sort of going
sure,
about of
for sure.
things, but just that since the Adele record, really, I haven't been this impressed by a vocalist's work in the context of like a singular vocalist doing this kind of album and going for it. Uh, no features. Very
Oh,
bold as
that's
well.
why. That's why I forgot to mention that too. Yeah, no features. Doesn't fucking need it, honestly.
Straight J. Cole in it out here. Um,
Fuckers is
it's a
finished
very
now.
good. It's very good, and I do like what you're saying. I think that it gets to kind of a crescendo point. Some of the last songs, like Lie Again to some extent, and Another Heartbreak are Another Heartbreak less for sure, but At Least We Tried definitely are like faster, like more like quote unquote loud songs, considering this is like a slower, mellow record. But the last two, like you were saying, um, Remind Me, Unholy Matrimony, do a really great job of landing the plane and giving you like a good experience
You
of
didn't have
listening to it
yeah,
front to back.
you didn't have to do a go around. Smooth it out on center line.
No turbulence flipping the plane like 40 meters before entry.
No, you didn't. You didn't inadvertently like put the wrong aileron in your slip and you fucking flipped the plane on final. May or may not have
Anyway.
actually have accidentally done that once. So
Oh no, I've been watching the YouTube compilations lately. For some reason, I'm getting them now. Maybe because we share the Audioface account. But anyways,
exactly face count.
our arbitrary scale this week. We do arbitrary scales every week on Audioface because our review is our review. If we had an actual scale for it, it would just ruin the sanctity of marriage. Okay, let's put it like that. So this week it's gonna be cigarette brands, and I'm gonna give this Consulate.
Consulate? That's a good one.
It's
All
a
right.
very classic cigarette brand. It's notably not smooth per se. I think they're in England generally, and oh yeah, these are they're sort of like the Newport for people who wear bowler hats.
This is definitely Rothman's for sure. Solid Rothman's.
Rothman's cigarettes. Google is
Sponsored
going to think I have a
Williams.
problem after this.
You know what? You know how I'm doing this, by the way. This arbitrary scale. I'm just looking at old Formula One sponsorships because I was all tobacco for about like 40 years. I know Rothman
Oh my
sponsored
god.
Williams from the in the 90s. There
Folks,
you
we
go.
love it. Remember, you can help grow Audioface by subscribing to us at our rapidly growing YouTube channel, youtube.com/audiofacepod, youtube.com/audiofacepod. Subscribe or follow to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or pretty much wherever you're listening to podcasts. That helps. If there's some like algorithm in your podcast app, like there is with Apple and Spotify, that you can give it 5 stars or give it a thumbs up or anything like that, please do, because um, that'll definitely make things helpful and help us grow. We really appreciate it. And kind of like we said on PowerPort, there is plenty of Roe v. Wade stuff, and there's stuff on Elon Musk's Twitter takeover on the podcast feed that I forgot to publish. So I was like, oh, I can't go episode 44, 46. So let me just in the words of Lil Uzi Vert, shoot 2 at her. So anyways, the too soon. Anyways,